camera's trying to do that too.
And I can't help but head bob to this.
What's up, David Link? I'm playing Dub Conscious in the background, Adrian Zelski, HGHC Company. Live from the mighty Veedverks Airship, I'm Travis Lippert, CEO of Verks Unlimited Limited, better known as Veedverks.
And I'm Julie Richardson, Director of Commercialization and Promotions, and today you have us. We're trying something different today. We need to catch everybody up on a lot of things, and it just so happened that we're doing a little documentation of some medical procedures with me. So,
hi, Phil Kelly.
Hi, Phil Kelly. Let's start with everything that's going on. You want to talk about Green Campaign first?
Yeah, the Green Crayon Campaign. So there's the head of the Douglas County School District, Dr. Tucker, is refusing to enact, I think it's called JLCDB. We passed a law, Jack's Law, for Jack Split, Stacy Lynn Cannability Foundation. We passed a law that said that kids could get medicated at school with cannabis-based medications. And then further, we then passed Quentin's amendment to Jack's Law, which allowed specifically for school personnel to administer this medication to their kids. And in Douglas County, there's a school board that sucks. Like, I watched this video today.
Oh, yeah, I watched that. I did see it.
Hashtag I stand with Ben. Watch this video of their interaction with their school board. It is just disgusting, and it makes me want to fight. And so if you go to the Green Crayon Campaign.com, then you can download letterhead that has the Green Crayon Campaign on it. What we're encouraging people to do is to send, screw this guy in charge of it, Dr. Tucker. They wouldn't even let. I watched the testimony of Sarah, and I just brain dumped the name, but
and her
Marley's
husband.
and her husband, Marley's parents, and then I watched Brad Wan get up there, Ben's dad, and they kept reprimanding them for even using people's individual names, like saying Dr. Tucker. And I think maybe it was Brad who got up there. It's like, well, I don't even know what to call him. I'm not sure how to address this. One person who's the problem, and that person's not going to be part of the solution. They're depriving kids of their medicine. We passed a law in Colorado, then we passed an amendment to that law to make it even clearer that you should be able to medicate your kids at school with cannabis-based medications. We've already, and now 14 months later, we have a particular group of school board members who are just not going to do it. They're going to let these kids suffer, and it's inexcusable, and we're kind of pissed about it. So now you rant.
Well, the thing with Marley, what upsets me is I have IBS, and we have so many people that are close to us that also have Crohn's and other issues. And you need to think about this like any pharmaceutical that you would take every so many hours. And it keeps the stomach and the intestines soothed to where that they can handle food. And I fully believe Marley's dad that this caused her to have a flare. Because if you don't get it in a routine manner and your body gets used to it, just like a pharmaceutical, they'll tell you, do not stop it. Well, cannabis is the same way. You do not stop your treatment, whatever you're taking.
10 days into the school year, Marley has missed 7 days of school. And unnecessarily.
Right. And if she was taking, what is it, Humira, which is so dangerous, she could just... I have children that took medicine at school, so there is a protocol that should be done. They have this medicine locked up. What Marley is needing, I believe they said, was a capsule. That if it could be under lock and key, a secretary can hand them to it. Yeah. Just like if it's okay for the secretary at the elementary school to give a child Ritalin or Adderall or anything, a narcotic like that, why is it okay? I don't even know if it's not a narcotic, but it would be what?
What?
Adderall and Ritalin.
Stimulant.
But if it's okay to give, basically, that to a child, why is it not okay to give a capsule, or in Ben's case, nasal spray?
Like, what's the current option if, say, Ben has a seizure on the school bus or at school? The current option is to call an ambulance.
Well, on the school bus, what should happen is there is a safety procedure, and you go over it with all the teachers, and mostly with people with epilepsy. You have to give us a very large suppository, and Ben Juan is a senior in high school, so this is an adult.
So pull your pants down.
Yes,
while
you're seizing.
While he's seizing.
While you're seizing, and you have to position it just right, and you could hurt somebody's rectum.
Like put him in the downward facing dog position,
right.
and
which is not what you're supposed to be, and you're supposed to be on your left side.
On your left side,
right?
And then shove something up his butt.
Right, which is surgical, operating room type sedative, and that is so dangerous because it has to be counteracted.
And if he does get it,
if he gets it, but he's not going to.
It could take 20 minutes for it to take hold. Meanwhile, in 5 minutes, he could suffer permanent brain damage.
Right. And here's, I looked down at my arm today, and let me show you. I have on a Mary's 1-to-1. I put it on because I was feeling off.
Yeah.
And I am so lucky I have the kind of epilepsy where I can do something about that. I was able to go to the dispensary and wear this. Ben Juan can't wear that.
No. That's how the whole fight started, right? Mm-hmm. They took a patch like that off of Jack's split.
Off of Jack. And this is what we're talking about. Even if you took it off and you put it on you, this is a 1-to-1. This will not get you high.
It has about 5.5% THC and 5.5% CBD in it. That's what we mean by 1-to-1.
Now, it doesn't have to go on my wrist. It could go on the top of my foot.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of kids wear it. They put it on the top of the foot, put their shoes and socks on, and they go about their day, and it's a steady dose of medicine. And this controls pain. This controls seizure-like oddities with me. And I want every kid. This is not harmful. Why is this a problem?
It shouldn't be a problem. Mm-mm. It shouldn't be a problem because it's not against federal law. It is because the Rohrabacher-Farr amendment, whatever that amendment's called now.
Right.
It's definitely not against Colorado law. We're done messing with Dr. Tucker and the Douglas County School Board. Screw them. Mm-hmm. They're a bunch of dicks.
Right.
And they can't even say Dr. Tucker's name in the Dr. Tucker won't talk to these parents. I'm going to post a link to this video.
Yeah, post a link to the video. But if we can get Governor Polis behind this, and we have CanFam that's talked to another school board, and they're saying, oh, well, we don't have kids. So I'm curious, if you have a pediatric cannabis patient, and I don't care what county you're in, or if you know of one, get them in touch with us, because that's the latest feedback we got is, oh, we don't have any medical marijuana kids in our school district. I think that's bull.
People are just afraid to say that.
Yeah, they're afraid. And they're afraid for a lot of reasons. They're afraid of the pushback. They're afraid of Child Protection Services getting involved. And we know the Wands have been threatened.
You keep talking. I'm going to try and get this link out to this video of 3 parents testifying on behalf of their kids in front of the Douglas County School Board. It's ridiculous.
Right. They're frustrated, and you can hear the anguish. Poor little Marley, she went to 6 doctor's appointments in 7 days from a flare. And that affects families in every way possible. Not just emotionally because you're worried about your child, not just financially because you have to take off work.
Yeah.
But it kills your soul as a parent that you can't do what you need to do to provide for your child because of somebody else's decision. No.
We won't stand for it.
No, we won't.
Well,
my nose itches. Somebody's talking about me. If your nose itches, somebody's sticking their nose in
Dr.
your business.
Dr.
Old Southern with superstitions. Oh. But yeah, did you get it posted?
Well, I posted the link to the I Stand With Ben Facebook page. Right now it's 2 posts down with this. I can't.
Wouldn't it be wonderful? Can't y'all just see it? Just Governor Polis having boxes and boxes of green crayons, and there's a big release with the media, and he shows us all the crayons. I think that'd be great. Let's do that. He seems like he would be a good sport about it.
You got to make some art out of it after it's all done.
Yeah.
Maybe give the crayons back and let all of the kids sign something whose lives he just protected through just a very reasonable decision for a governor to make.
Right.
Make it compulsory. Jailed, I don't know what it's called, JLCDB. Mm-hmm. The language needs to be changed to make it compulsory for schools to allow kids to take their cannabis-based medicine at school as needed.
Right. And
just like any other medicine, this is ridiculous.
Why are they waiting to be notified that they have a cannabis child? They're just opting out until they get the request, and then they're going to put up the fight, and it's basically sounding like Douglas County again. It just...
Tired of it.
No, it's not acceptable. Oh, yes. All right, so does everybody have their dresses and their dapper hats for tomorrow, because it's the social event of the year, or one of the most important ones, I should say. It's family friendly. I would highly, highly encourage you, if you're in the cannabis industry, to take the opportunity to bring your family out, introduce your family and to your coworkers, and let them find out who you're working with and what the cannabis industry is about, and all the phenomenal people that are a part of it. This is the first year I'm not having to work it. I just get to go and enjoy, and I'm not stuffing bags. I feel
Can you still
special.
get tickets for it?
I think so.
Okay, so to get tickets, go to AXS.com. Mm-hmm. Search for Mother's High Tea. It's the 7th annual Mother's High Tea. Yeah. The theme is Rio de la Plata, South America, and they're going to have a bunch of South American teas there. Mm-hmm. It's a non-consumption event.
Yes.
It really is just regular tea.
Yeah, just as regular tea.
And you dress up. You put on a suit. You put on a dress. You do your nails. And you wear a fancy hat if you've got one. And it's a real celebration of the cannabis community. And Susan's done a great job with this.
She's done a phenomenal job, and all the committee meetings. You know, Lisa Boulevard is Boulevard. Thank you. Is on it. Then we have Cece Dunn. We have Don Blackman is on there. So she has an incredible dream team of women and volunteers that get together and do this. And so
we've had all of them on our show.
We have. We have. We are so lucky. We have had some really incredible, passionate people. People with literal destinies to be in the cannabis industry.
Yep.
Oh, Jenny Gold joined.
Jenny Gold. That's awesome. So, Mother's High Tea is tomorrow?
Yes, it is.
What time?
From 1 to 4 at the McNichols building downtown.
144 West Colfax. And if you want tickets, go to axs.com. Mother's High Tea. Be there, be square. And if you're there, make sure you dress up fancy, because
Yes.
it's a fancy thing.
And if you're there, come get your picture taken with us, because you will find yourself at the photo booth. I think that's my most favorite part of it, is all of the pictures we take and everybody being dressed up. And we've been known to do some goofy things. So come out, come take your picture with us. But then Saturday, clicking into that's
Wait.
wait.
Before Mother's High Tea, we're going to see them aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Raid Area 51. I can't wait to see them.
Can you imagine what they're doing at Area 51 today?
Preparing to slaughter people. They're preparing to execute as many people as possible in a short amount of time. They're surely they have to have people on it.
Yeah,
they must have pilots
they have to.
who are like training to, okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, and this started out
Somebody
as a
start
joke.
filming there. Yeah, it started off as a joke.
Yeah, it's a total joke. Now, I did read that in one of the communities close to it, that they're having a big music festival. That would be pretty trippy to go to.
Yeah. We'll find out. It's supposed to start tomorrow, right before Mother's High Tea. So first we will see them aliens, and then we will go to Mother's High Tea.
Right.
Keep checking our phones to see what's going on at Area
Yeah.
51.
Yeah, they got to be batting down the hatches. That's hysterical. Where it's, if I was really wanting to spy on things in that nature, I am right in the right state to do that.
Yep.
There is so much here with the new, especially now, the new Space Force.
Space Force, yeah. Show off the first new Space Force plane.
Yeah.
Put on the world's best air show.
There you go. There you
And
go.
finish it with the UFOs, because we know that they've got them.
Well, they kind of basically admitting they have them if they're going to do something like this, like Space Force. But I think it's a little ridiculous, all the money that the Navy's been involved, the Air Force involved, then we have the NASA that's supposedly not doing anything, and Lockheed Martin, all of that. So be good.
Be good. Thank you to Be Good for
Yes.
sponsoring our green room.
Yes.
Which today was just Julie and me, so that
Yeah.
was nice. But Be Good is an awesome dispensary chain. And these waters that they give us have a 10% off coupon on them. And they have locations in Federal Heights, which is Rec, North Glen, which is looks like Rec and Med, West Wash Park, which is Med, and Englewood, which is Rec.
Right.
And Be Good, they're a good company. They're good people.
They
We
are
support
good
them.
people.
So thanks to Be Good.
Yeah. And super, super wonderful parties. If you ever notice on your Facebook feeds that they have something going on, go to one of their events. And they do very good events and have a wonderful location. They had buses there, because I know a lot of people get kind of aggravated to go to an event and it's not consumption friendly.
Yeah.
So they've taken care of that.
Yeah. They have a really cool spot. And they're doing good things. They're
Yes,
being
they do.
good.
They're being
They're
good.
being good. So thank you to Be
Anyway.
Good.
Yes.
So then on Saturday, after we see them aliens, and then we go to Mother's High Tea, then on Saturday, it is National Expungement.
Yes.
National Expungement Day. So what is that?
Yes. Well, that is where you can go and get certain things taken off of your record. There is over 30 lawyers that are there to help go over your records and see if they can get things to where it's, I think in the state of Colorado they call it unsealed or
Sealed.
sealed, yeah. But they're getting it
Sealed.
taken off, and they're also doing a job fair. So if you've got minor things, trespassing, like things that you did as a kid, things you want to get off your record that's been stopping you, and these are things that can stop you from getting housing. But I talked to Melanie yesterday. She was meeting the whole crew up in Boulder to do the training, to get everybody ready for it. So they're excited, they're ready, they're passionate. And this is for the whole state. And this is a national thing. So if you are watching this in another state, look it up in your state. There should be something going on. It's a national push.
Yep.
So, anyhow, so that's a cool thing. I want to go just to see everybody, how it all flows through. I don't have anything on my record.
Do you have anything on your record?
Nope. I had somebody try to put something on my record. That was pretty funny, but anyway. But I'm doing something else. Not too, what was it? Maybe 6 months ago, I started seeing a doctor that was more holistic and had some tests run, and I just had
because of why?
Well,
go back. What did you do before cannabis?
I have always been a Spitfire activist, and I learned how to be an activist when I had children that had learning disabilities.
Go back farther than that.
Go back farther than that.
When you were one, you fell down a flight of stairs.
Well, kind of the story. If you were going to start this story, and my mother had said this over and over, if you were going to start the story of when I started having issues, she would tell you about the night I was conceived.
Because what did your dad do?
He was a nuclear scientist.
Up in Idaho?
He was a nuclear scientist. He was in the Navy and did a lot of the nuclear testing of the nuclear bombs. And graduated from the University of Alabama and continued his education on in various other avenues, and also worked for the government. He wrote nuclear procedures. We lived all over the world in some of the most toxic places. We even went to 3 Mile Island after the accident. And we've been in Savannah River, which is another horrible place, Barnwell Nuclear Plant. One of the last places I lived with him was a nuclear plant in Mississippi that was notoriously having issues, but that's what he did. He came in and saved the day and worked for the government and got it all fixed up to where all the locals were happy. That's what he did. But in 1970, he was exposed pretty bad, but when looking through his paperwork, I found out that he was exposed shortly before I was conceived. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Which is in 1966?
Yes. Well, yeah.
1965?
65.
Yeah.
Because it would be in October. Yeah. But my horrible pregnancy. And in the 60s, they gave women a lot of immunizations and a lot of preventative things, and they were trying things on women. And my mother's body could have none of it. It put her in the hospital. She was deathly ill, and my grandmother was like, this one's different. You can't be doing and little did she know how different. When I was born, I was having reactions from what they gave her in labor and delivery, and I wasn't doing very well. And normally in the 60s, they would just put a baby into the nursery, but they didn't think I was going to do so well. So they let my father hold me, and it was funny. I was having trouble breathing. They were having trouble with me in general, just basically reacting from the sedatives they had given my mother. And he started to sing. And as he started to sing, I started to breathe. And I started to get a little color.
What was the song?
The song was a song he had written about a Civil War heroine named Julianne.
Huh.
And the song starts out about how he had gone home and he had asked old Jim, where's his Julianne? And he said, old Jim told me you'll never see Miss Julianne again. He cried when he said she died in Sherman's Plain. And then the refrain goes, sadly he turns away, distraught of what's been done. He can't live his life this way, so he buckled back on his gun. Now he was a man behind a gun, not afraid to die, because Julianne waits for him way up in the sky. So that was my song for my whole flippin' life. And he would sing that. And there's more to it. It's a beautiful, beautiful song about a selfless woman. So it kind of...
Is it about the Confederacy, though?
Well...
Listening to your accent, was it...
There's an interesting story with my family. The strain that I'm from, the grandfather that left Louisiana, he was against slavery. and helped with the Underground Railroad. And so I was born into a family that, fought for the underdog and fought against oppression and fought against things. But, it was about the war. And it was an interesting twist to find out that my parents were like that. My grandmother almost wasn't allowed to marry my grandfather because they had had slaves. And they didn't want any part of that history.
And that was way before Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, no, that was...
So you were born,
and then, they got me out. My mother, poor thing, she was so sick for a long time. I actually went home from the hospital with my aunt after a few weeks. This poor woman goes and takes me for immunizations. And by the time she gets home, here I am turning blue again on her and going into a coma and having a reaction. So that's when they figured out I couldn't be immunized, because they tried, until I was about 10, 11 years old to immunize me, because I was getting kicked out of schools by then. And so that's when that started. But at 6 months old, somebody left the basement door open. And I evidently wanted to follow my sisters downstairs, and I went down a flight of stairs in a walker. And broke my collarbone, spent the next 6 months of my life in a body cast. And my uncle, I was telling you earlier, my uncle would tease me. He would tell this, if he was alive to this day, he would probably tell you this story about how they had laid me down for a nap. And when I woke up, right out of a cast, I'm climbing out of my crib. And that was, probably one of the best things they ever saw. It didn't break my spirit. It may have broken me. But I didn't have any problems with it until I was about 13 years old, and I was watching my nephew. And I bent over to pick him up. He was maybe a year old, and I couldn't stand up. All of a sudden, the most excruciating pain went down my back and down both my legs. And all I could do was stand there and scream. And, of course, my sister called an ambulance, and that's when they found out that I had already had advanced arthritis, advanced scoliosis. I did a lot of chiropractic treatment, and they, of course, I could have had back surgery at that time. Well, here my poor parents had this kid that couldn't take anything. Always had crazy reactions. So it was really scary. So they decided to do chiropractic treatment with me, treat me holistically, not stop me from doing anything. And, of course, I was advised not to have children. I had 5. That really made a lot of the scoliosis, because you can't tell I have it unless I really point it out to you, but my back goes back and forth. So my hips are off and everything is off. And when my mother passed, I saw all of her grandchildren sitting and moping, and this was in 2003. And I decided that wasn't something she would want to have happen. So I decided to fill all of her grandchildren in a minivan. And we were in Idaho at the time, because that's where she's buried, and go up to the Teton Mountains, and Aunt Julie took everybody tobogganing. I had no business. I had already been having problems taking a bunch of children tobogganing. I went down a mountain slide. Once again, don't tell me what I can't do. It was my turn, and I went, and I hit a frozen bale head on like that and broke this part of my neck. So I've got, on top of the arthritis and scoliosis and everything else going on, a steel plate in my neck that's going on. And if you notice, I wear braces on my arm, but my patch, not today. That's actually...
Is that helping?
Yes. I'm not wearing my braces.
So without that patch,
I don't have to wear the braces. But the problem...
Unsolicited shout out to Mary's Medicinals,
Yes.
1-to-1 patches.
Right, because I wear them all the time. If I don't wear my braces, I'm just in agony.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
coming.
I saw you open a door like this earlier. Mm-hmm. I see it.
Yeah.
So that's good that that's working.
Yeah. And you can see...
And that's just 5.5 milligrams of THC and 5.5 milligrams
Right.
Do you still have that package?
Yeah, it's over at my desk, but...
They have a bunch of terpenes in there, too.
Yeah.
Linalool, myrcene, beta-caryophyllene. Same stuff that we put in a million.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, this pain goes under my arm, through here, and shoots out this thumb. And then on this side, it hurts in between the bones. But I'm just wearing one patch. That's all you need. Huh. And it just seems to circulate really, really well. I don't have any tingly, none of my normal weird stuff.
That's good.
And I don't feel, but I really put it on because I felt off. I felt seizure-y off. Yeah. And I don't have that feeling anymore.
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned a couple hours ago that maybe we wouldn't be able to do this because you weren't feeling well.
Right. Let me grab that.
Grab what? Oh, the package? Yeah. That's the type of patch you should be able to wear in a Douglas County School District environment and go to school and just not have seizures. It's all we're asking for, is to protect the special needs kids the same way that you think that you're protecting kids. And, you know.
Well, 2 hours ago, I
so they've
felt...
Sorry.
Yeah, oh, so it's fine.
They have, in this transdermal patch, they've got 1-to-1 THC and CBD with 5.54 milligrams of CBD and 5.48 milligrams of THC. Mm-hmm. So that's why the 1-to-1 ratio. And it has myrcene, linalool, limonene, beta-pinene, and beta-caryophyllene, which our lotions also have in them. Like, we just don't have the THC. And it's one pump of lotion is like, how much? That costs $10.
That costs $10?
So you can get a bottle of Amelia that has 100 pumps of 5 milligrams of CBD in it with the terpenes that are helping.
Right.
But the thing with Amelia is that instead of having THC in it, it has 0.00065% THC in it. So, did you see that article about that NASCAR crew chief?
Yes!
The NASCAR crew chief, Xfinity Series crew chief, who died, and they found... They just
and everything.
Yeah, hydrocodone, cocaine, alcohol in his system, but they were describing it in terms of milligrams per liter, and so a milliliter is 1,000th of a liter, but a nanogram is a millionth of a milligram, and so they were talking about these numbers that they're saying are like so. They test people for nanograms per milliliter when they're, I mean, that's how we were measured here in our for our Amelia lab test. And this guy had like 1,000 times more than that, according to the way that they reported the story. He had a lot of cocaine in his system.
He did.
Yeah, milligrams per liter versus nanograms per milliliter.
Didn't he have a
but
lot
they
of
still won't let us put our lotion on a race car.
I have to believe, with all the time I've lived in the South and before cigarette marketing was censored, I remember all of the Lucky Strikes and all that has got to be pushed from there. And Big Pharma push.
They're winning. Big Tobacco is winning. Big Tobacco is taking over a big chunk of an industry that was really helping people. We're watching it. And half of you guys on Facebook are still cheering for it, and I'm very disappointed in you. I really am.
Well, I can understand the ones, like, I don't want anybody smoking the artificial ingredients. I think that's a bad idea, the artificial flavorings.
You don't?
No.
Versus... So they're going to make it legal to smoke or to vape tobacco-flavored vapes only.
Well, if it's crappy artificial flavoring kind of stuff, that kind of makes me... I don't want that in my food.
But do you want to tell somebody that they don't have this choice to do that for them?
Oh, no. No.
There are so many people who... smoke cigarettes and need to quit smoking cigarettes, and their current options are nicotine patches like your patch, lozenges,
tablets,
or Chantix, which has a black box warning. Somebody please again check on Ray Liotta. I can't overemphasize how worried I am about Ray Liotta, because he started taking Chantix and now we haven't seen him since. They replaced him with the slow turkey.
Yeah.
But there are a ton of free American adults who quit smoking vape turkey. They went to these vape shops. There's thousands, tens of thousands of vape shops. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're doing instead of smoking, and they're going to put them all out of business unless they sell tobacco-flavored stuff. That's the current plan. It's having enormous repercussions.
Right. And there's a lot of people out there with really good products, too. And I carry a vape pen with me most of the time because it's a good rescue med for me. Yeah. I can't afford $10 a day for a patch.
Yeah.
This is something I'm just feeling a little more off today than normal, so I went and got a patch. But I'd love to be able, and that's coming. That's supply and demand. As more and more states legalize, it's just going to be like now we can all buy CBD cheaper. It's going to be the same thing for transdermal patches and all the other products.
Yeah.
As there's more and more people making them.
After all of this vape stuff is said and done, Juul is still going to be available at your gas station right next to the cigarettes.
Right.
And they're going to put 100,000 people out of work.
Well,
who just want to have a different alternative.
And if people don't think there's a connection, what you posted the other day is a blatant connection. He posted a pack of Marlboro cigarettes with a coupon coming out of it.
Yeah, for a Juul.
For a Juul. And
that's what's going on here.
And years ago, when they saw that doctors and it was leading and people, they were getting sued for cancer, they had to have a solution then. This isn't something they thought up yesterday. This has been a plan that's been going on for decades.
Yeah.
Because they had to have a plan B. They had a whole
that's
billion-dollar business set
That's
up.
why Plume came out with their first dry, tobacco vaporizer. We had already started, and they were still proclaiming that they were a tobacco vaporizer. But Plume then came out with the Pax by Plume, the Pax 1, then the 2, then the 3. Then they came out with the Pax Pod system. I think it was called the Era, Pax Era, something like that, which is exactly like Juul. And Pax spun off Juul, and then Marlboro, or Altria, owner of Marlboro, bought 35% of Juul for $13.5 billion. And now we're seeing what the result of this is going to be. They're going to put out of business all of these vape shops, blame it on flavors, which has nothing to do with the deaths. The vaping deaths, now it's 7 vaping deaths. 7 vaping deaths. 40 people died going over Niagara Falls last year.
Where's the outrage? Where's the outrage?
I see it in my... So 7 deaths, and these deaths have... they're going to be related to an additive that I'd never heard of until this all started, called vitamin E acetate, which people were using to dilute black market, fake-ass vape cartridges. And, the people who were competing with us for business are the ones who did this, and they were killing it. I read a story about 2 brothers in Wisconsin who were making 3,000 to 5,000 illegal, dank brand vape cartridges in their condo every day. 3,000 to 5,000 cartridges a day. That's a ton of cartridges. Well, they were doing so much business. Damn.
We got a call, what was it, a few months ago, somebody was wanting to buy your base as in it by the gallon. Remember that? And that is exactly what they wanted to do with it. They wanted to make black market stuff.
Yeah.
And it was nothing from Veedverks is going to leave like that.
No. Our packaging costs more than their entire everything that they put into those cartridges. We put 26 cents worth of stickers on a package, and they're paying, sub 20 cents for a cartridge off of Amazon and the packaging.
I laughed at him.
But it's going to have. This is a corporate takeover. It is the tobacco industry taking over the vaping industry, and it is having fallout as it relates to the legal cannabinoid industry.
And this has tentacles, deep tentacles. I mean, here we've been, last year, think about legislation, we worked on vaping issues. That's what we talked a lot about it.
House Bill 1076.
Yes. And other states have been doing it. What happened with Boulder? Did
I don't know. Boulder voted yesterday, so no, 2 days
day
ago.
before yesterday.
I'll bet you 100 pennies. Bet you 100 pennies that they approved it. And so Boulder's going to have 30 days to dispose of all of the flavored vape products.
And theirs was you cannot sell it in the state, in the city limits, right?
I guess. I don't know if they're going to start pointing guns at people for vaping. Like you catch a whiff of cherry, like cops when they pull people over and they're, or I smell marijuana in here. They're gonna start saying, "I smell cherry pie in here."
Yeah, like what, or
hands above your head,
pina colada, or whatever the smell it used to be.
Yep. It was a masterful job. It, like the way that the tobacco industry just pulled this off, and I'm telling you, half my Facebook feed. I'm talking to half of you guys right now. You fell for it, but they just took it over. I saw, even though NASCAR won't let us put our logo on a race car, I saw on the lower quarter panel of the number 2 car in the Xfinity series last Saturday had a My Blue, like I think blue is Camel's vape, right there on the car. And I was, burned me out. It really did. I was on a...
The thing with nicotine is, like, nicotine with me will make me feel seizures. And these kids are having seizures from the nicotine because that's how it affects the brain. And I remember... when I was pregnant with one of the kids, a nurse was explaining how they can take a blood pressure of somebody smoking a cigarette and how it will change, not only your blood pressure, but as they listen to the baby's heart rate, it changes the baby's heart rate as well. That's what nicotine does. And that's not what the cannabis industry is wanting to use.
Yep.
We don't want any part of that. Well, I don't know of anybody that has mixed THC with nicotine. Do you?
I thought about it.
Did
now.
You?
Well, no, now.
Yeah.
Because that's the only flavor that they're going to allow. They're still going to be selling Juuls. They're going to be tobacco flavored Juuls at the gas station, which is exactly how the kids are getting them anyway, or buying them online. The kids aren't using these big box mods with their big tanks on them and stuff. Like they're eliminating the legal adult industry because of 2 things that aren't related to it.
Right. I saw a lady in Walgreens buy 4 of them. She was, "Let me get these now."
Get them now.
And she kind of looked back. I guess she thought I might be judging. I don't know. I wasn't judging her. I was kind of curious.
Sounds like you were judging her.
No, I wasn't judging her. I wanted
to
to talk to her. I'm like, and she's like, "Yeah, I quit smoking, and this is what I use." And
she was buying Juul pods?
Yeah, well, she was buying the little, looks like a little cartridge.
Huh.
About this big. And she says, "Yeah, I can just put it in my pocket, and it's convenient for her, and that's what she does. Saves her money, and she gets that, her body gets the nicotine without all the carcinogenic chemicals that they put in tobacco."
Yeah.
Which, they do put in things that make them more addictive. That's already been... There's lawsuits on that. So, at least a lot of people I know, they've all gone to the organic tobacco blends.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of conversations on Facebook today. Well, I guess I'm going to go to the tobacco store and get some pre-rolled or mix it with hemp or whatever. Yeah. And people are thinking what they're going to do now that they don't have a vape.
Yeah. It's messed up. It's so messed up.
Mm-hmm. It's like, here, go back to the cigarette with that's been sprayed.
Yeah.
And they're...
I guarantee spray glyphosate on that stuff as part of the...
Oh, yeah.
There's no way they don't.
Well, it's all about efficient farming out there. You look at any of the pictures, you're going to see the pristine rows.
Yeah.
You don't get pristine rows. Who was it? Greg Duran, when he was talking about pulling up hemp plants and how different weeds would get in there and mess it up. You don't see that in tobacco farming.
It's all just perfect. Mm-hmm. Chemically controlled perfection.
Right.
Maximum yield. And those are the guys who... And I'm telling you, if you're not careful, people, with your language about, what you're pointing the finger at with vaping, and if you buy into this hype, you're going to end up hurting the cannabis industry.
Right.
You're going to make it so that this is how they're going to ban concentrates. Because that's what's going to happen. So stand your ground and just chill out a little bit and look for the real cause.
Right. And I've tried those flavored things, and I like our vapes. Our vapes have such a unique
I like our
flavor
vapes, yeah.
And
I like a lot of vapes.
And I think about that and what a nice flavor it has, and how it would just be ruined
with tobacco flavor.
With tobacco flavor.
It'd be terrible. We're not going to do it.
No, we're not.
We'll figure something else out. So what'd you do yesterday?
Yesterday I did something very brave. We started talking about kind of my health issue, but have here, this is from 2015. This is when I came up here. I was dealing with breast cancer, IBS, hypertension, scoliosis, cerebral infarction, which is strokes, myocardial infarction. I had had some heart attack issues. I had broken heart syndrome, neuromuscular disorder, which is my not MS, TIAs, which is transient ischemic attacks, and those are baby strokes, and then seizures. And this is what I deal with, but a lot of the medications that Big Pharma has to offer causes such severe side effects. Like when I first started working for you, I had been given, and I will talk about on a video we're about to show, a cocktail that caused me to have bleeding kidneys from kidney stones and passing blood and just viciously ill. So we've talked with Colorado Medical Solutions, and they want to work with cannabis patients. And you ready to show that?
No, give me a second.
Give you a second.
Do you want to see the procedure room or the consultation?
Let's do the procedure room, because that'll kind of give a basic. But I've been feeling really bad. Really bad.
Let's see if I can make it big. And also, I want to see if we can have... I wonder... It's like I need to add a new audio source. Hold on.
Well, we'll kind of go into why I'm doing this. As I look at the cannabis patient community, I see them suffering in a lot of the same ways I'm suffering.
Put these
it's on there?
One of our viewers said something to me about the other day about I always look so...
All right. I think this is going to work.
So I guess I need to kind of explain. One of our viewers said something to me about the other day about I always look so vibrant. But what they don't see is what I go through every day, and it's not just my arms. It was funny, I was filling out the charts and it was like I was checking everything. Other doctors are telling me with fatigue, it's just like, well, if they give me something in the pharmaceutical form to address these issues, it's also a cancer-causing thing, so it's not safe. And then I also have reactions. So by doing plant identicals, I feel like I'm on a safer course. I'm not harming my body. hopefully I won't shock it. I'm kind of afraid of that. But if you don't know me personally, I have these crazy weak spells where all of a sudden my heart starts racing. I'm very tired. I have to catch my breath. Sometimes I get nauseous. Sometimes I throw up. And it's just, I have to rest, and you let me rest a little bit and I'm fine again. And I've had study after study, and they can go, yes, you're doing this. I wore heart monitors for 6 weeks with EEG monitors, and they couldn't really pinpoint one way or the other. And so I'm hoping this is going to address that, and I can have my life back. It's simple things, like I joke about having to use a scooter in the grocery store, but I used to speed walk 3 miles every day. I used to swim. I used to be so strong, and now I'm just seeing my muscles deteriorate, and this isn't okay with me. And I can't fight the nerve disease that I have if I can't get up. And so I'm really hoping this does something. And this makes me feel better. And little things like my hair's falling out. I haven't been real truthful with that. I know how to tease, but this is part of it. And the explanation is, nice thick hair isn't your body's number one concern. It's gonna stop producing things and taking care of things like your hair when your muscles are fatiguing. So that's one of the first signs of being this imbalance. So I'm hoping that this just does amazing things for me, because I know so many people in the autoimmune cannabis community are going through the same things I am. And if this works for me, it'll work. Hopefully it'll work for you. So just kind of think about me as your guinea pig. Let's see how this works.
So what is this?
I am taking bioidentical.
Bioidentical.
And these are hormones that are made from yams. And there is absolutely no research that supports that this could cause my breast cancer to come back. Because that's what I've been dealing with for so many years. I can't address the
hormone issues because it might give you a recurrence of your breast cancer.
Right. And, hormone issues isn't just a sexual thing. You need testosterone for healthy brain activity, for healthy muscle activity. And I am so dangerously low, and the next video kind of goes into that. No wonder I'm having heart issues. It's one of the side effects of being as low as I am. And being that I have a heart that's been damaged, I'm more susceptible to it. So we'll watch this one. I wanted to kind of go over some of the symptoms that I've been going with, because when we show
this is a 15-minute video.
Oh, we don't need to show that much.
Have the same symptoms that I do, especially the autoimmune community.
Just get him talking about it.
And if you have,
It's a really pretty dress.
Oh, thank you.
we put in what's called a trocar.
There we go.
Which is just essentially a hollow tube
Yeah.
that allows us to put the pellets into the trocar, plunge them transdermally under your skin, take the trocar out, and then give you a bandage, right? And we do that on average 3 times a year. We do it every 4 months. The pellets slowly release into your bloodstream, right? It's a controlled release. There are some patients who absorb quicker than others, in which case we're gonna give you a little bit more than the average person, and there are some people who require higher physiological levels. So most women are gonna feel good, as an example, with the testosterone level at 150. Some actually still express symptoms, they just require more. We'll have them come back in, we'll add them to about 250 to 300, just depending on
Well,
what they
it's
need.
going to be interesting with me because I did the thing growing up.
Come back from that.
Yeah. So what he's talking about here was my blood work. And normal testosterone goes anywhere from 150 to 250. Mine was -3, so it was
How do you have a
undetectable.
negative?
I know how they basically go as non-detectable. Isn't that crazy?
No testosterone.
No testosterone.
Do you have any chin hairs?
Yeah,
You do?
I do, and I have a really almost a blood contract with several Canafam females that if I'm ever in a position where I can't do my chin hairs, they got me.
Really?
Yes. And that started with my boys. Every time I had a son, I got a
new
new
chin
hair.
hair.
But when I started doing this, well, when I had breast cancer, I also had a uterine tumor the size of a 6-month pregnancy.
Wow.
And I was just a walking hormone imbalance. And so they took everything. They took cervix, both ovaries. The tumor wasn't cancerous. It was from the hormone imbalance. It was just excruciatingly painful. It's funny. My favorite story of my tumor is I was in the grocery store and somebody I hadn't seen in, about 10 years came up to me. And, I have a lot of kids. And she was talking to me and I noticed she kept just kind of eyeing my tummy. And she leans in and she goes, "Miss Julie, are you pregnant?" And I busted out laughing and I said, "No, it's a tumor." And she goes, "Oh, you are so funny. You're going to be a great late in life mom. All your kids are so successful." And I reached in and I said, "No, darling, it's really a tumor."
So they implanted these bioidentical hormone pellets into
my glutes.
Right butt cheek.
Yes.
And it's made you feel a little bit loopy today.
Yeah, it has. And they were going to give me more. And the thing is, and with people with epilepsy, especially women with epilepsy, as young girls, mothers can literally chart. They know when their cycles are about to be because they'll have seizure activity or they'll have migraines or what have you. And I did that all through my adult life. I would feel off. I also cycled while I breastfed. I got really cheated out of that good deal. Which meant, you're supposed to, normally a woman will stop cycling if they're breastfeeding. Oops, I didn't mean to bump that. Sorry, you guys. Oh, we're blurry again.
Just got hit by some kind of electromagnetic wave.
Yes.
It freaked that camera out.
Huh.
Had some static.
But interesting. But yeah, he's going over mine. And, I'm going to put this up because I'm wanting to document this. We talked about the synergy of these bioidentical hormones and cannabis. And in part of this interview, he was talking about how I'm not having the insomnia, how I'm able to still work my job. He expected me to be just not even dressed, not able to get out of bed. And I am like that, but I also fight it. And I really think it has to do with my cannabis. And I think that's what's kept me going, because I never have trouble sleeping. And come to find out, insomnia is the biggest complaint. I've never had a single night I couldn't sleep.
Huh. I can't say the same thing.
So, we have one? Okay. Well, this has been fun.
Now we have 30 seconds. Yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me.
Guest. And thank me for joining you as your guest.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody, for joining.
All right.
It'll be a story to be continued.
Yes, and the doctor's coming on to talk more about it.
All right. We'll learn all about it.
Yes. Let's see if it gets me better.
Canafam, Canna Warrior, Julie
Yes, sir.
Richardson. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for joining. As always, I'm Travis Lippert reminding you, if you don't get hemp here, get hemp somewhere.